Newcastle play Charlton tonight. It's a replay we'll keep our eyes on. We are live at Roker Park as Sunderland go in against Arsenal. And coming up Friday at 7 o'clock on Sky Sports 3, Football League action between Burnley and Bury. This evening it's Sunderland and Arsenal, and our match commentators at Roker, Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Steve Dunn resumes his duties. He was the referee at Highbury a week ago last Saturday when this saga started. It's got to come to a conclusion tonight. Arsenal to kick off. They've drawn one. Thought about this replay. They've lost one, which gave Sunderland 3 much appreciated Premiership points. Here's Martin Keown for Arsenal. He and Nigel Winterburn coming through late fitness checks for Arsene Wenger. Platt. Vieira getting it through to Merson, who's got plenty of attacking freedom tonight, and had Hughes moving up in a useful position to his left. The pass just wasn't released in time. Absolutely no weather problems here. And the pitch, but if it's a little short on grass, is beautifully flat.
Already in the opening minute though, we've seen Paul Merson, Martin, prepared to drop deep into the little hole. He's not going to stand up there as I suggested and be marked. He's going to drop off into the hole, try and be picked off. The fascination for me, even early in the game, is whether that pressing game, that no doubt Sunderland have, and Arsenal will want to pass it about. It's going to be fascinating to see how brave Arsenal are if 1 or 2 passes go astray or are intercepted early in the match.
As you say, Peter Reid has fostered a splendid spirit in his Sunderland side. They collectively aggressive, so that the whole is invariably greater than the sum of the individual parts. And they have changed their formation tonight to take into account the way Arsenal set out their stall. Something, in truth, they also did in the league game, to go with 3 at the back, one of whom is Gareth Hall, jumping there against Bergkamp. Bold.
Yeah, talking to Peter Reid earlier, Martin, his idea was to leave the man on the ball, Andy Melvin, as the spare man if possible.
Well, Perez, whether he didn't see Nigel Winterburn then, and very nearly felt the effect of Winterburn making an interception, giving Arsenal an early boost. Great play by Merson. Parler trying to carry it on here and go back to Merson again. Gray. Headed forward by Ord. Now Hall. Ball jumping with Bridges. Vieira playing it back and ran on through to David Seaman, who of course came back after his absence with those cracked ribs to play his first game here on Saturday. And the other goalkeeper, Lionel Perez, certainly one of Sunderland's heroes in the 2 previous games against Arsenal. That's a foul by Bridges.
It's just always causing them 1 or 2 problems, that clearance. I think the free kick was right, but he didn't do an awful lot, Bridges. Not an awful lot at all, just pulled at the arm a little. He was always looked to be under pressure, Steve Ball, from that.
Clearance from Hall. Old racing in, and the referee's spotted something wrong again. The Steve Bowl shot that was blocked, shall we say, on the line by Andy Melville. The referee was honest, he didn't see it, he said. Arsenal were furious. They claimed initially that the ball might have gone over the line, as well as the penalty that so strongly appealed for, and on another day it might have been given. Melville was lucky, because had it been given as a penalty also, he would have had to have been sent off. two clubs have met in the competition. There's never been an away win. But the most memorable meeting was on neutral territory at Hillsborough, the semi-final in '73. Sunderland, then of the second division, won 2-1. And of course went on famously to win the FA Cup, beating the overwhelming favourites then, Leeds. And it's Sunderland trying to set out with the same sort of spirit here against Arsenal again. And with this young and in certain areas pretty untried side, they've got a free kick. And Arsenal has made a hash of it. Kubicki, Melville was in there. It was a mishit shot by Kubicki that Melville was trying to make more of. Richard Ord still forward. Bridges chasing, and Adams stepping out of the way, and making sure in doing so that he distracted Bridges without committing a foul, and the ball ran on through to Seaman.
Well, that was half a chance. It wasn't a great delivery from the free kick, I have to say. A poor set piece. I tell you, Andy Melville, have they got a chance on it? It might have been a little bit different.
Platt,
First touch just let him down.
Here's Vieira. Winterburn climbing well. Oh, Bridges. Now Adams. Well, nothing's given, and had something been given, Tony Adams could have been in serious trouble then, as the last outfield defender. And Arsenal looking very jittery against a junior striker, if you like, a very promising one in Michael Bridges.
He did well, Martin, actually, not just to win the header against Keown or stop Keown winning the header, but to get onto the ball. I thought Tony Adams stood his ground. Bridges just seemed to try and run through Adams rather than go round him. That might have influenced the referee's decision.
Keown. Nelson up to Bergkamp. Ian Wright will be particularly glad that we're playing here tonight, because this does, as long as this game is completed, it does complete Wright's suspension, and he should be back. Bergkamp almost intervening there and taking advantage of a lax piece of Sunderland play. But Wright should be back for the match on Sunday. Arsenal in the Premiership at home to Everton. Will bring you that live on Sky Sports. Kelly found by Hall. It was Mullin, rather. Michael Gray going in. Adams with a bit of a lunge in the first place. Arsenal had a lot of players around Gray.
Well, that one was okay, but the earlier challenge is the one from Tony Adams. It's here that Bridges does well, because he's quick to react. And I thought he kind of runs through Tony Adams rather than tries to beat him. I think anything given there might have been a bit harsh against the Arsenal skipper.
Russell, it's a fine turn. Adams steps in again.
Well, I think the front two have shown already, Martin, that if they can get the ball down, they're nimble and mobile enough to cause the three centre-backs of Arsenal a problem.
The winners tonight play in the fourth round at home to either Leeds or Crystal Palace, but it'll be some time before that's settled. Gray. Craig Russell is Sunderland's top scorer this season with a rather paltry sum of 4 goals. He hasn't often been in the starting lineup, but when he has played, and certainly when the cameras have been around, he's very much looked the part. And a very prominent game here in a Premiership match we brought you against Chelsea. Kubicki.
I think there's no reason to suggest, Mark, that this is going to be any less tight than any of the matches that these two have faced each other this season. Even in the game at Highbury that Arsenal won, I think 2-0, I mean, for long spells, well, it was 11 against 11. Peter Reid's side were actually the better side. It was only late in the game, after 2 men were sent off, that the game swung Arsenal's way. I don't think there's anything in it that suggests that it'll be as easy to win.
As you mentioned, sendings off, and of course, in various parts of the season, they have been very disruptive to both clubs. More recently, of course, for Arsenal, 5 in their last 10 games. 4 players dismissed in their last 5 away games. Sunderland's problems, disciplinary-wise, came earlier in the season, but they had a real rash of red cards as well. 2 of them, although one of them was later actually found to be incorrect on Paul Stewart, and the verdict was changed. 2 of them happened in the league game at Highbury back in September.
What we've got tonight, no matter, 2 sides who are playing, well, just about exactly the same formations. And at the moment, what they're doing is cancelling each other out. It's almost man for man. There's a lot of individual battles going on. And I think that's really why the game hasn't really settled down, taken any shape as yet.
Well, it is a terrific opportunity for 1 or 2 of these Sunderland youngsters to show that they can still be in Peter Reid's plans when the senior men get back to fitness again. Is one of the senior players still fit. Merson. In too much of a hurry. But even when he makes a mistake, Paul Merson plays with such a smile these days. He's been a great credit to himself over the last year or so, a bit longer than that now. This is his 99th game in a row since he came back from his personal troubles. Here he is with a fine shot. It was certainly bound for the bottom corner if Perez hadn't dropped on it.
Lovely strike. And the way the ground is, there's a little surface on it, a little bit of dew on the ground. Just skips off it as it sits. Just one for concentration for Perez. But a good one to get early on in the match for a goalkeeper.
Hall. And again. Adams with a header. Stayed in play with Russell. And now Mullin, who is a striker by trade, really. Being asked to come from midfield and doing it well in that attack. Kubicki was the player trying to get on the end of the cross. Pulled away by Adams. Teenager Williams signed earlier this season from York City. Played in 1 or 2 prominent cup ties for them. If it was to come to a penalty shootout tonight, do you think Arsenal might have the advantage?
Funny enough, I was talking to Peter Reid exactly about that. Like he said last year they had terrible times with penalties, Sunderland. So they missed 8 out of 10 or something like that. So let's just think they don't want penalties.
No, Martin Scott, who normally takes them, is out injured. Steve Agnew had been taking them. He's out injured. He was hurt at Highbury, broken wrist. Blocking a shot, a freak injury, really.
This is certainly a tie that could go to penalties. I think it is that tight to call.
Nice clearance, the Sunderland captain, and Adams, the equivalent, letting it run. Tony Adams with that own goal. Yeah, in the league game, it's settled it Sunderland's way last weekend. Here's Platt. Merson. Now Hughes. Ball was quick enough.
Hughes did well, Martin, even though Merson dropped off the front line again, got involved twice. Hughes replaced him. And that's what's going to happen to help Dennis Bergkamp. If Merson does what he's doing now and gets in midfield and looks at Platt and Hughes now, they've got to be the ones that go forward and support Dennis Bergkamp.
Bergkamp was responsible there for Arsenal getting the ball away. Darren Williams knocks it long. And Bridges almost able to intercept Adams' header. Bold withstood the pressure. And as an arm was used perhaps to keep Bold's balance, certainly it was caught in the face, but here's Vieira now on the far post for Arsenal. And the header was just a little bit on the short side to encourage Winterburn.
Well, Vieira will be disappointed, Martin. He's got every right to be. That was a classic break from him, a little give and go with Bergkamp, and when he was looking for a bit of help, only Merson had made the ground into the box. Absolutely no targets to hit apart from Paul Merson. Watch, it's a lovely break and a lovely run. But as he looks up, he has a little glance here, he takes his time. When Merson's come into the pack, he's taken 4 players away. No one else had made the ground from midfield.
Winterburn was the player Vieira spotted, and he'd had a lot of ground to make up to get there. Great. Now Ord. Ord's made a forward run. And again, it's breaking into an area where Bridges wasn't too far away.
There's been 1 or 2 balls like that, straight balls, bread and butter passes. Normally Arsenal would just gobble up. This is normally not a problem. 3 big 6-foot-plus centre-backs would normally just take care of that. They haven't quite settled themselves at the back yet, Arsenal. That is unusual.
Sunderland have started the new year pretty well. Draws at Coventry and at Arsenal. And Saturday's win here, following on a fantastic 1996. Division 1 champions. They developed in the Premiership at the beginning of the building of the new ground, a successful flotation on the stock market. They're determined to be in with the big players, Sunderland, as far as English League football is concerned. And here, they're determined, if they can, to enjoy an FA Cup night. While recognising that if you look around, man for man, Arsenal have so much more experience.
I think they've got better quality as well. So what does that matter in an FA Cup tie?
Yes. Bold. Both, of course, these clubs have been to Wembley for FA Cup finals in the 90s, but haven't done much in the competition since then. Sunderland haven't won a home tie since the quarter-final that year, 1992. So the replay against Chelsea. Arsenal haven't won any of their last 7 in the FA Cup, 7 matches, that is. Just 1 victory since they held the trophy aloft in 1993, after that Andy Linningham winner against Sheffield Wednesday. And someone's got to go through tonight into round 4. Hughes. Nelson trying to get across there, the pass I don't think was sweetly struck on Hughes' weaker foot. He's now trying to press Gray. Cut out by Platt. Now Ray Barlow in the wing-back position again. Merson.
Well, Sunderland didn't have to contribute to the problems here. I just think sometimes when you're under pressure, Roque ain't a bad place for the ball to go. Michael Gray's attempt to keep it in play just handed possession away. That's not a great chance, the angle's tight. There's certainly nothing wrong with pulling the trigger and having a go.
Well, we're keeping you in touch with what's happening at St James's Park, close to here, of course. Newcastle against Charlton. And the first chance for Newcastle, that was Lee Clark hitting the top of the bar. Under the gaze of a certain Kenny Dalglish. David Kelly. Bold. He was closed down quickly, so he just really had to play it forward, and the challenge, which came from Williams, was responsible for Arsenal giving the ball away. Sunderland can start again with Melville. Williams. And it's Hall. Russell has timed the run well to just lose Adams for a moment and stay onside. His cross. Parler got the merest of touches. It was enough to take the ball beyond Kubicki, but it's conceded a corner.
Well, the cross was a good one, but what he did before that, Craig Russell, was excellent, man. I watched his movement off the ball, and he absolutely lost Tony Adams. It was first-class movement from a front player. His cross almost matched it.
Kubicki will take the corner. Well, there was a bit of a dummy thrown at the end of it all by Tony Adams to let the ball pass on its way.
He's good at that. You watch the way he just blocks people off. Andy Melville comes up and he's a target. But Adams knows there's no one beyond him, so he just stands his ground, blocks Melville's run. I will take a goal kick. That's not luck. He knows exactly what he's doing.
You do feel, Andy, that Arsenal are at a vital stage in their season. They've had just one win in the last 7. It's been a dip in form, partly, of course, you could say self-inflicted with suspensions. Certainly not the ideal preparation for an important cup tie, or indeed the vital Premiership game coming up against Everton.
No, it isn't, but what I think will keep them going and keep them quite buoyant is what's happened around them in the Premiership, Mark. They haven't lost that much ground there, and I think that will keep them going, but the performance level has dipped. I have to agree with you on that.
And it was Russell to Bridges, back to Russell again. Can he get the shot in? He does, as he was challenged.
Has a decent chance. Sat up for him quite nicely. He was under pressure, but again, the two young lads worked it well between them. He managed to fashion a little hole there. Not the easiest chance in the world, I have to be honest. It's little things like that will give the front two plenty confidence. They've had in 21 minutes of this match enough to keep them happy, the front two. I've watched more established front pairings than Bridges and Russell. They marked out a game a lot more than with that back three than those two are tonight.
Yes, Craig Russell and Michael Bridges lively in the first half of the first half. Bridges, incidentally, gets special phone calls when he scores for the senior side from Alan Shearer, who's taken an interest in his career up in this part of the world. Merson, corner to Arsenal off forward.
That was a lovely ball from David Platt. Played down the line, perfectly weighted into Merson's run.
Well, Andy, I didn't see the game here on Saturday, but I was at the game at Highbury in the FA Cup, and Sunderland struggled to defend in the air at set plays.
Well, they're not the biggest side in the world. When you look at that trio parked around the penalty spot.
They don't put it in the air, they put it to the foot of Merson. Keown, he's slightly wrong-footed. Hughes, who comes back out again. There's space here for Nigel Winterburn. Oh dear.
Yeah, we could see what he was trying, couldn't you?
And he just presented it to the goalkeeper in the end, and Sunderland quick to counter-attack from Perez's use of the ball to Bray. Bridges and Nigel Winterburn will at least be able to get back into his right position, having suddenly come across to take the corner and finding himself with a sight of goal as Arsenal switched it back.
Stephen Hughes does well here, Mark, because he's under pressure, but he spots Merson and Winterburn really well. They just get a little attracted to the ball, Sunderland defenders.
Winterburn couldn't have made it more comfortable for Perez. And then suddenly there was some pace on that far side as Sunderland tried to attack quickly. Lionel Perez, well known to Arsene Wenger, of course, from their time in French football. Perez was regarded as a very promising goalkeeper. He's definitely of the unorthodox school, and he's got some work to do here because this is Bergkamp going through, and Perez came out maybe in an unorthodox way, feet first.
Well, that's the piece of football of the match. Absolutely magnificent from Bergkamp. Knew exactly what he was trying to do here. Watch the way he just helps it on. And then he uses his pace and his strength to get in. And I think he's a little unlucky because this touch here gets away from him. only slightly, but enough to tempt Perez to come out and get the block. Wonderful football though from Bergkamp.
Well, really to make the tackle. He came out, the goalkeeper, like an outfield player. Now he has to deal with the corner, and he's got to get back because Vieira was trying to give him another job then, but Michael Gray got in the way.
Did well, the goalkeeper. Not the biggest I've seen in the Premiership by any stretch of the imagination.
But I think that's what Peter Reid said to him at half-time at Highbury. You've got to come.
Yeah.
Even if at times he looks small in the crowd, his fists can get up so high. Actually, the player who really troubled him, John Hartson, of course, missing tonight.
Yeah, I think it's Tony Adams this time who comes in and puts him under real pressure, but that's good goalkeeping, an eye on the ball, and a really good fist to it. Strange for Arsenal, though. Sorry, Martin, strange for Arsenal. You talked about that first match. I noticed 2 corners, and none of them played near post, into that area that they enjoy so much.
No, they're not actually playing the percentages. But here they are, ground level again with David Platt, and he couldn't quite take it into his stride. Tidied up by Melville. Easy first touch from Bridges. Nice barometer really of the quality of a young player. Here he is again trying a trick or two and showing some strength against Vieira. He's got a free kick, Michael Bridges. Two coming initially for a ball played short, but Richard Ord surveying the scene further away. Bridges is still on the move. Williams. Here's Kelly. Bridges has kept it in well. The ball bending behind, and a goal kick has been given.
Bridges did well. Good vision from Kelly, good movement from Bridges. The only thing wrong is a little bit too much weight on the pass. Bridges can do nothing but just retrieve it and play it back into play. And this is the one, just whether it took a little clip off Nigel Winterburn, that's what Sunderland were looking for.
Yes, it was John Mullins' cross. Parlour. Dixon, incidentally, is back in training now, and will hope to be back in the Arsenal senior side soon after his ankle injury. Opportunity knocking for Hughes tonight, and for Bergkamp. And it was Mullen being asked to work box to box tonight.
Well, that's a great tackle, Martin, such an important one, because Bergkamp's in, they look to play offside, and they'd get it wrong. And had he not tracked him back, Mullen, and there's no doubt, look at Bergkamp, he was just about to pull the trigger. Great defending.
Bergkamp now finding Mercer. Vieira's made a run into the penalty area, and he's just come a little too soon. He's been given offside. He didn't control the pass in any case.
Yeah, I wondered if
really on the sprint then.
I wondered if Mercer was just going to use him and just go at the last defender and take him on. I thought it was tight, this. And it was a little tight. You watch it, the ball's played there. Look at that, that's tight, that's not offside, he's level. Mattered not though, as you say, he didn't get hold of it. That's how difficult it is for linesmen. What the new ruling says, the level you're on.
This is Russell. Well, no end product then, but even at this high level of the game, defenders have problems with real pace.
Yeah, they're getting in between the back three, and I think they've done it too often for Arsene Wenger to be happy about it.
Well, Peter Reid has seen something there that he didn't like. Problem. Someone has got a problem here with challenge by Vieira on Williams. but the ball came up in the air and...
he just leads with the arm, I think, Martin Vieira. I think that's what we see here as he jumps. Just goes up, there it is, right arm. And it's his follow-through, more than anything, from Darren Williams as he flicks the ball on. Movement with his head.
But what has been conspicuous, really, in the opening half an hour, there seems to be no carry-over from the other two games, which was a fear tonight. We can tell you about some games coming up on Sky Sports 1. Our Super Sunday does come from Highbury. Everton need to get back to winning ways. And Joe Royal is here tonight. And our Monday night football from Upton Park. And let's hope that the weather improves down in the south. Certainly the northeast is the place to be to get football matches on. There is Joe Royal with Willie Donachie, watching Arsenal in particular tonight.
Do you think you might know they'll make a change at the weekend, Arsenal?
If he can get back in the team, of course. You're talking about a certain goal scorer of a prolific nature.
Might be watching 10 of these on Sunday.
Yes. No, I don't think you need to watch it at night to know what to expect. I'm sure our viewers will be glad to have him back. Except perhaps the Evertonians. Here's Hall. Well, on a night when we have to have a definite finish, extra time, of course, would be the regulation, and then the penalty shootout if required. David Seaman's speciality. Bergkamp. Here's Gray. Just wonder what Sunderland have got in store for a celebration should they score a goal tonight after that intriguing display, which was a joke aimed at the absent captain Kevin Ball when Michael Gray scored at Highbury. Keogh. Vieira. Hughes trying to show his pace. Sunderland have got a player in the right place. Here's Kelly. He receives from Perez. Just got themselves into trouble once or twice trying to play from the back, and Peter Reid might be quite relieved that the long ball came in the end, although it was tailored for Bold rather than one of his front men. Adams reading it quickly this time. Bergkamp looking to get in front. He realises his responsibility as the player, for the most part, the furthest forward for Arsenal.
Well, he earned that, Mark, because he got himself right in front of Andy Melville here, and then he stands his ground. You can see he's not really trying to jump for the ball, just looking to get his body in between Ball and Melville and earn his side the free kick. That's exactly what he did.
And it's Bergkamp who shoots from the free kick and doesn't quite get the range.
There's a distinct lack of pressure on the ball, I have to say. I don't know whether they were taken by surprise, Sunderland. Normally a situation like this, you have someone charging the ball. And that ball's played, and you can see the huge gap there is. No real pressure on the ball.
Mullin.
There hasn't been much in this opening half hour of this match, Mark. I think pretty even Steven all over it. The one difference probably has been that Arsenal, of the two, have looked the side most likely to break through. I mean, that tells you a pretty even split in the game.
But there is, when you analyse their play in the game today, there's a strange air of uncertainty at the back. Sunderland haven't been able to regularly exploit it, but the potential is there. This week certainly started well for Peter Reid, who was voted by his peer group, the League Managers Association, as last year's Football League manager from the now Nationwide League, to pay tribute to Sunderland's championship. As we've stressed in previous Sunderland games we brought you earlier this season, their top priority, the bottom line for them, is to move to their new stadium as a Premiership club. So any cup run is definitely in the bonus stakes. And they're sitting in mid-table. I wouldn't use the word comfortably, because when you talk about it being tight at the top, it's pretty tight at the bottom, although of course the news from another part of the northeast about Middlesbrough and their points deduction. And on the subject of hot news, we switch to Newcastle, who have taken the lead against Charlton. Lee Clark had hit the bar earlier, and now he hits the back of the net. Well, he's really amongst the goals, having scored at Villa. Back here, Perez comes out to make a claim that's greeted with acclaim from the Sunderland fans. And yet again, it's a strange thing in a goalless game, but there have been a series of uncertainty in the last third for both teams, and Perez got a bit lucky then. So, 0-0 here, if you're slightly confused. 1-0 at St James's Park. Newcastle against Charlton, the winners there at home to Nottingham Forest, and Lee Clark has started the Kenny Dalglish era, although Kenny saying that he didn't get involved too much in the management for this particular match. Platt. Sunderland trying to apply the pressure, and they've done it with Bridges. That's very much their stock in trade.
It's been strange. I feel that even the crowd have been noticeably quiet here tonight, Martin, in the opening of this match. They're just waiting. Rather than trying to help them on a little bit, they're just waiting for something to happen.
Well, even in the FA Cup, as Bergkamp tries to go forward for Arsenal and is fouled, you've still got this element of the sides knowing each other so well, because they've been pitted against each other so often over the past few days. Great. There's some space to the right for Russell. He hasn't quite recognised it, but he's got the ball into feet, and he's looked to the left and found Kubicki. Bridges herring into the centre. Russell is there as well. Kubicki's cross, and Adams picked the right positioning again.
Well, that's a pity, because that's one of the best opportunities Sunderland have had to put pressure on. It's not his strongest side, he's left, Darius Kubicki, but he needed to miss Tony Adams out in the near post.
A bit more like the Roker Roar at the Sunderland corner. Gray would have really had them yelling in jubilation. Didn't quite come into his stride. Well, he demands high standards from his players, his team, very much in Peter Reid's image. And he won't accept second best. He never did as a player. I wonder whether he ever pointed like that at you, Andy, if you maybe sold him short with a pass or two. I'm sure you never did.
Never did, Martin. No, he never, to be fair to Peter Reid, he's never asked his players to do something he wasn't prepared to do himself as a player. I always think that's the measure of a good manager.
And of course, the co-commentator and Peter Reid were players that won the FA Cup in 1984. Adams prepared to join in. Winterberg. Bergkamp. Now Vieira. Parlour. Very congested in the centre, but that's where Arsenal go again with Merson looking for the wide open spaces in the wider positions. That's a terrific cross on the run.
Great play. It was always tempting the goalkeeper. It was always one of those that you'd expect the goalkeeper to come and get, but he'd know where to go, Paul Merson. His only option was to take it wide. Wrapped his foot round it really well. I just think somebody like a John Hartson might well have let Perez know he was around then.
Great. Headed by Williams, but Platt collects. Bergkamp's given it away. And suddenly, Craig Russell, if he got past Adams, he was in at David Seaman then. Adams made sure he didn't get past him. Sunderland has still got the ball. Bridges crosses. The crowd are reacting to an incident just off the ball that's left Russell down, and Martin Keown booked.
Well, to be fair, I have to say I didn't see it when I was watching the ball here. It certainly happened as the ball was played here. And as he turns back, Russell wins it there. He gets up. Was it Martin Keown comes in?
There.
Yeah, I think the referee spotted it, played a good advantage rule. I don't think there's anything wrong with that decision. I thought Martin Keown in those pictures certainly could have got out of Russell's way.
Well, Keown clearly takes the opposite point of view. And a player who's... Arsene Wenger was telling me that his suspension, Keown's, has been confirmed as 2 games from his booking here on Saturday. Well, there's going to be more penalty points against his name. Another caution tonight. You just feel against such a young Sunderland team that the Arsenal of a few weeks ago, before this dip in form that we've mentioned, would have taken this fixture in their stride, but they're not doing that. Sunderland still wearing an eager look. Keown and company allowing themselves on occasion to be rattled. 3 minutes to go to half-time.
Well, young Bridges did well there, Mark. So often you see that when a defender's protecting the ball, an attacker gives away a needless free kick stupidly and makes it easy for him. Bridges didn't do that. What he has done is that Arsenal have got a throw, but deep inside their own half.
Yes, and Steve Dunn emphasising that point by just telling Ray Parlour to go further back to take the throw from the correct position. Adams. Now Merson, and they've got a player, it's Hughes in some space here. The pass has just forced him wide. Arsenal trying to get players in the centre. Not with any huge urgency.
Lack numbers again, didn't they? Lack numbers. Only Bergkamp had made the ground. Wasn't easy that time, to be fair.
Oh, Bridges. Whether he was conscious of Vieira coming behind him then. Certainly caught by him. Ord. Keown's header. Merson. Bergkamp had a look around him before the ball arrived. Trying to get it on to Merson, and the pass was probing enough for Melville to have to concede the corner.
As you say, the concern against conceding corners was there. I think it was caught between, am I too close to my goalkeeper here? This is a decision Ord's got to make. Do I give him a problem by being so close to him, or do I concede a corner and allow Bold and Adams and Keown to come up and pose a threat? Again, they don't look to be going near post.
Well, it was a run into that area late from Platt. Too late. Brought away at pace here by Mullen. Bridges and Russell up with it. Mullen, maybe Bridges actually got a bit too close to him, and Mullen hasn't given it up. Brushes Hughes aside. Gray. Kelly for Russell. Couldn't control the pass.
Showed well enough, Craig Russell. That's exactly what was required. control, let him down.
Flat.
That's gone. Not as bad as it might have been though. It's just drifted out a couple of yards from the corner flag.
And now Arsenal can try and squeeze Sunderland into this corner in the closing moments of the first half.
Don't do it quick enough, Mark. You're absolutely right what you say. That's normally what you get your team to do if it's played out there. And you squeeze up very, very quickly and make it difficult. Arsenal simply didn't do that. Now they're having to defend themselves.
Williams. That was a lovely touch from Merson. Platt had to hold on. I think it was a concern that Bergkamp might have gone offside. But in hesitating, that attack was lost. Mullin, who's trying to be positive in everything that he's done. Tall, strong player, signed for small change, really, in the current financial climate from Burnley. We're talking Darren Williams and John Mullin for less than £100,000 in total in this era of £1 million men. Merson. Arsenal again having to wait for players to get forward. Bray. Sunderland more positive. Kubicki. One of 4 forward for Peter Reid's men here. Others will come if there's time for the corner, which Steve Dunn suggests there is. Richard Ord's on his way. Andy Melville as well.
Didn't think he gave Michael Gray enough of a chance there. Kubicki, the first part he did really well. Drove into the heart of defence. Just didn't commit Keown enough towards him. It's taken a long time in this half, but suddenly the temperature's rising a little in the match.
Off Ord's head and cleared by Hughes. The last touch of the ball of a goalless first half, in which Arsenal haven't looked in perhaps their best form at the back, but Sunderland down to the bare.
I expect this game to take off in the way that lads maybe were suggesting in the first half, Mark. I think that with the side that Peter Reid's got out, it was important that they didn't lose an early goal, because so many young players, it might have affected them. And for Arsenal, no matter what you might say about them having the more experience, they're away from home in a cup tie. It's important that they didn't give the kids a bit of confidence by losing a goal early on. So I certainly wasn't surprised that it started a bit cagey.
Merson. Bergkamp. Well, that's superbly done. That is absolutely brilliant. Dennis Bergkamp indicates that Arsenal have come out here with a more positive attitude for the second half, and he's done it with wonderful quality.
Well, we're early in 1997, Martin, but we might not see a better goal the rest of the year. That is sheer quality. That was sheer class. Quick feet here. Look at that. 2 drag backs. And then aware. And I'll just clip it over there. That's just wonderful football. Absolutely magnificent from Bergkamp.
And every angle you look at it from gives you something else to admire. The change of direction left Sunderland in his wake, and Arsene Wenger, aware that with others being suspended in his attack, he's relying a great deal on a world-class performer, and he has produced, and I don't say it lightly, a world-class goal. And what a blow in the solar plexus that is for this young Sunderland team, who would have been pleased with their commitment in the first half, and that they rattled Arsenal's cage on a couple of occasions.
It's amazing to think such a goal of such quality, Martin, could be greeted with such deafening silence.
Well, the 300 Arsenal fans who have gone to great trouble to get here tonight have got maximum reward in that sense for being here when it happened. What they want now is for Arsenal to go on and make this the last ever FA Cup tie at Roker Park, send Sunderland out, and a big step towards that has been taken here. This beautiful, beautiful piece of play from Dennis Bergkamp.
Well, you carry on, Martin. I just like watching it.
Only the Sunderland diehards would disagree with you, Andy. And even they grudgingly have to admit that they've been bettered there by Bergkamp at his very best. We have an absolutely perfect view from this side of the ground. There was absolutely no doubt that the ball was going to end up in the back of the net. No chance for Perez, who's performed heroics. Now another yellow mark on Arsenal's disciplinary record that's been causing such consternation to the club. Ray Parlour.
Yeah, he just committed a foul about 30 seconds before that, Martin, and I think it might just be a combination of the two.
Arsene Wenger beginning to worry that his side just might be getting more bookings than they deserve because now of a reputation. But in a way it's becoming slightly easier for referees to make a decision like that, knowing that so many other referees have done it over this season. Over 50 cautions for Arsenal, and as we said in the first half, 5 red cards in the last 10 games. Parlour and Keown booked tonight.
I just wonder if Peter Reid will be tempted to change it. The way that Arsenal are playing, 3 at the back, I don't know, there's a great need for it now. Bergkamp's basically been a lone striker up front. Maybe that Gareth Hall will come and play right back. And that would mean that they could push David Kelly forward to play further forward in this right-hand side. It certainly looks as if they might have done that already.
But what a way for Bergkamp to reply after his first red card of his career here at Roker Park. He'll have mixed feelings about this ground, on which I suppose he'll never play again, because there are only matches here to the end of the season. He's sending off and disgrace as Arsenal were beaten in the league, and a goal of rare magnitude that could take them into the 4th round of the FA Cup at Sunderland's expense. Incidentally, Seaman puts Arsenal's lead in some jeopardy there with a very poor kick. Here's Ord for Sunderland. Over Kelly. I was going to say that there have been no complaints from the Arsenal camp about the red card for Bergkamp. They realised it was a very bad tackle. The only mitigating circumstances were feeling that there were 1 or 2 challenges earlier in the game that, well, made Bergkamp frustrated. He wasn't given the protection that he felt he deserved, and he took the law into his own hand. And because of that, also Sunderland denied the services of Paul Bracewell tonight, who was hurt in that incident. They'd love to have him out there giving some direction and leadership, even if Ord would have been captain. You know what I'm saying about Bracewell. Here's Kubicki. Gray. Well, the shot from Bridges took a deflection, and Sunderland have a corner.
Well, they've steadied the ship. This is just what they need. A couple of things like this to go for them. A couple of attempts at goal. Adams is the one who goes and closes them down. Good pressing from Tony Adams. It might well have been an important touch.
Well, it was a very good leap by Ord.
Martin Keown just got caught under the ball here, simple as that. Ord's in behind him. Keown gets attracted towards it and gets caught underneath it. That might have been a better chance than it looked. I can remember Arsenal teams of not so long ago, Martin, at 1-0 now would be thinking, well, that's it, shut up shop, and they'd protect it quite easily. But this Arsenal side hasn't been like that this year. It hasn't been as watertight as past seasons.
Tall. Keown going in. Hughes. Platt. Bergkamp had no one on that right side for Arsenal. Gray can send Sunderland going forward here. And he's doing it with great ambition. Out comes Seaman.
Catch in practice. The run was a very good one. And that's what I think we might see in the game. We might see Gray pushed wide left and Kelly wide right to do this sort of thing, to drive maybe one against Ray Parlour, just to test him. Certainly think that's worth thinking about if the scoreline stays 1-0 in Arsenal's favour for much longer.
Keown. Bergkamp again stylishly. And here's Parlour. Good stop by Perez. Keeps Sunderland in it. They can't afford to concede a second goal, you feel. And Kubicki trying to find a way out of trouble here. Platt trying to deny him that.
Well, they both did well. Kubicki did well to get it out the way, and Platt did well to close him down, force him into a rush clearance.
Platt. Arsenal looking to assert their authority now, and Merson's ball. Winterburn against the post. And Sunderland still don't get it away. Vieira. Adams. Now Merson. And Perez has to be there again.
Well, it took a little deflection, Merson's shot. That was a problem. Apart from that, it was pretty straightforward. But the two chances before that, first of all, the save from Perez. And then this chance from Winterburn. This is a brilliant ball from Merson. Absolutely top draw. And that's a great attempt from Nigel Winterburn. It was an awkward height. He did exactly the right thing in trying to head it. He's tried to direct it past the goalkeeper. So unlucky.
Bergkamp. Merson. Bergkamp again. Well, the feeling was at half-time that Arsenal were paying this young Sunderland side too much respect. Maybe that was the message communicated by Arsene Wenger to his team. Dennis Bergkamp, of course, has played a major part in this sudden surge of confidence with that quite wonderful goal. But now Winterburn's hit the post. Perez has had to save from Parlour and from Merson. It's an Arsenal corner. And we've only had 10 minutes of the second half. And Perez, well, the challenge was there and he was able to get the ball at the second attempt. Here's Kelly. And trying to get it through into an area taken up by Russell.
They did well, Arsenal, though. Got players back. Really got back well from the corner.
Ford. Well, he was trying very hard to instill a positive note for Sunderland then. And in the end ran out of his control of the ball. Michael Bridges is going off. And on comes Martin Smith. Bridges, who was injured here on Saturday and was doubtful really right up to kick-off. They took a bit of a risk playing him. Bold. A long ball from Keown. Arsenal get a corner after the pursuit by Parler. Ray Parler's only goal this season came against Sunderland in the league game back at Highbury in September, and he was hoping to double his tally a minute or two ago, but Perez kept him out. Mullet setting off from deep. Hall. Russell trying to just wait it for Gray to take in his stride. Well, what about this from Newcastle? A terrific Charlton free kick, they're level, and Mark Robson, the scorer. David Platt, and Perez stops Arsenal.
Well, there's no doubt that goalkeeper's kept his side in the tie, not just here, but at Arsenal in the first tie, made some tremendously important saves. And that one from Platt, well, that's a great effort. Made 2 saves with his legs, but that one, a real good save at an important time in this match.
Smith, that's more testing for Seaman, but he still made it look pretty comfortable. But David Platt was in at Lionel Perez here.
Takes it really well, Platt. He knows what he's trying to do. The goalkeeper doesn't have spread himself well. Stays big for a long time, Perez.
Vieira. Winterburn getting to Hall, and the tension getting to Sunderland.
It's important at the moment that they stay in the game. Just approaching the hour mark. There's plenty of time left in this match, but if they lose another goal, you just feel that Arsenal would then just get the ball and just dictate that.
Well, about the only good news for Sunderland fans at the moment is that Charlton equaliser at Newcastle. Arsenal well ahead on the attempts count, and Perez has been a very busy goalkeeper, particularly in the second half. It's been a great change in emphasis here from Arsenal, and it's all come from the goal. Sometimes a spell of play leads to pressure, and that leads to a goal, but here we've had a goal that's led to pressure. Seaman's kick. Bold. Just came behind Hughes from Merson, who was determined to go in there and try and win it back, but he couldn't do it. Mullin. Williams. Now Gray. Arsenal pretty well formed defensively, and the first challenge was a successful one from Hughes. Melville, now Hall. It's been a much more worthy of the FA Cup in the second half. Russell in pursuit.
I think the game was always going to get better, Martin, second half. Don't think there was a doubt about that. I don't think we were all quite expecting to see such a goal of such quality.
Smith's corner. Substitute who's been out of contention recently because of a persistent back problem. Oh, that's bounced up, and Paul Merson found the ball bouncing against his arm. Steve Dunn, who of course was criticised by Arsenal fans for not giving a penalty for the home team in the first game, is now feeling some of the wrath around the ground from those Sunderland appeals. Although the players didn't make a great deal of it, they've got their concentration back. What did you make of it, Andy?
I don't think it was a penalty. I mean, I think, to be fair to Steve Dunn, he's the other side of the penalty area, Martin. He must have had 12 players between him and Paul Merson, but the linesman had a pretty unobscured view of it. I thought Merson tried to control it with his right foot. He spun off it. It did hit him in the arm. There isn't a doubt about that. But certainly no intent, I felt.
This is Kelly. Kavitsky. Carlo, who has been booked, has got to be careful. This was the penalty appeal.
Yeah, the corner was badly played. You can see that. There was absolutely no intent in Paul Merson's behalf. I think he's playing that with his hand. Just lost control of it.
And now the flag has gone up on this near side for offside. Well, the first FA Cup tie Sunderland played here at Roker Park in 1900. They beat Derby 3-0 then in a replay in the equivalent stage of the competition 2 tonight. But defeat here, and the curtain will come down on FA Cup football in this historic setting.
Well, the action areas were pretty even first half, weren't they, Martin? Just look at that. That goal has certainly changed Arsenal's attitude. Whether it would have changed totally had Bergkamp not produced that wonderful finish, well, we're not so sure. But it's given them the confidence to push on and really test this young Sunderland side.
Bergkamp for Merson. More problems for Sunderland here. Merson's cross. Well, it's ended up in the net. Hughes was diving in. Paul Merson provided the chance, and Arsenal will feel they're very, very close now to securing their place in the next round.
Great vision. You watch Merson. He just picks him out absolutely perfectly. Still not quite sure who got the final touch. Certainly Hughes is claiming it, and he certainly threw himself in there. That thought was coming back. It definitely is. But great vision. Merson wasn't rushed, wasn't tempted into flashing it across goal. He just took Perez right out the play. Super vision.
And more reward for Arsenal's enterprise in the second half, and well, it was a big night for Stephen Hughes, who was in the Arsenal side that won the FA Youth Cup back in '94, the same year that he made his senior debut. Brought into midfield in this reshuffle with Paul Merson playing further forward, and it was Merson who put the ball across, which had knocked me in the net, and Hughes dived forward to do just that.
Well, you have to say that they're worthy of this 2-0 lead in the second half. Arsenal have totally dominated the proceedings.
Gray. Well, he's really going for it, and Sunderland need that sort of enterprise. A bit of ankle tapping by Vieira.
Well, that's 2 or 3 times Michael Gray's got himself wide left, and he's really looked a threat as he's driven at the Arsenal defence.
Well, Sunderland needs something. They've got a free kick. Back in by Williams. Melville!
The flag stayed down. David Seaman's looking. I'm not so sure he's got a case, but that's a glorious chance. You just go 2-0 down and you get a chance like this, following on the back of it, you really have to take it. In a game that's as tight as this, you've got to take those sort of chances and tuck them away. You just never know when your next one's going to come from.
Well, there haven't been many times when Sunderland have come close just detected arriving here tonight that behind the scenes Sunderland did fear the worst. They were very pleased, as we've been stressing, with the league win and the reward for that. And of course Arsenal, given in that defeat the incentive to look for real revenge tonight. And Bergkamp with a personal crusade after his sending off, and he's triggered it off for Arsene Wenger's team. And a goal that we will not tire of showing you. And the second goal, ample reward for football that Arsenal have put together since then. Well, that was of the weaker variety from Adams. Knocked up by Winterburn. Vieira, Bergkamp, and Sunderland are chasing shadows again. Merson, Bergkamp's offside.
I tell you, that was tight, Martin, and I tell you what, if he was offside, then it's not Bergkamp's fault, you know. Like Paul Merson, I think, knows his partner made a great run, and he should have been played the ball so that he wasn't offside. He can't really check his run now. He needs to have it delivered. It's tight. We can't quite see from that angle. The flag went up pretty quickly. But that was a wonderful move. Started way back with Tony Adams. We played 2 or 3 passes into the midfield area.
Well, like Arsene Wenger, Dennis Bergkamp from a very young age followed the FA Cup. Bergkamp, of course, in Holland. And coming into it last season, well, Arsenal didn't get very far. They went out in a third-round replay to Sheffield United at Bramall Lane. Gray, who's doing his best manfully to try and overturn these considerable odds, which are very much in Arsenal's favour now. Kubicki with the back pass.
I don't think Peter Reid will complain about the way his team have worked, Martin. They're giving everything in the game. The one thing we talked about right at the top was that the more quality in Arsenal shots, and I think that's shown in the second half.
Well, they've got big hearts, Sunderland. Mullin, Russell, took a bit of defending. But Keown was up to it.
Great header. I could easily have just flashed off his head past David Seaman.
Vieira. When you think that Sunderland have won their last 3 games at Roker Park, Chelsea, Derby and Arsenal didn't concede a goal in any of those games, and have gone 45 minutes without conceding here. It needed something special to end that run, and Dennis Bergkamp certainly supplied that. Great. It's impressive pace from Keown again. It's always been a strong suit for him. Mullin.
I was unlucky. I think it was handball. He was misjudged the
bounce up and hit his hand,
well,
as it did Paul Merson.
That's what I'm saying. He's a little unlucky.
Easier to give the handball outside the penalty area.
Yes. You better believe it. What a ball, David Seaman, what a ball.
For Platt. Just another postscript to the Bergkamp goal. Part of it must be down to the work from the Sunderland ground staff, producing such a perfect surface on which to control the football. That's a stinging try from Hughes.
Well, where did they get that from, Martin? I don't know if he's renowned for it. He won't hit many with as much pace as that. Oh, I think surprise for Perez at first, but he didn't half-hammer that. Took a little deflection, it almost deceived the goalkeeper as well.
Well, Arsene Wenger believes he is the best youngster that Arsenal have got.
And he's played well tonight.
Of course, he has that added advantage of being naturally left-sided. Advantage because there are not so many players with that gift around. Bergkamp. And he knew where Merson was running, but there was no way he could just angle it back into Merson's path. Arsenal homing in on a tie against Leeds or Crystal Palace. If it's Leeds, of course, Arsenal v George Graham in the FA Cup. That suits Arsenal down to the ground here, because they can keep their defensive shape. They know that they've got the quality to rip Sunderland apart in the counter-attacking stakes. Just a case of get the ball when we can. Williams. There's Adams believing that he could set off, but there was no return pass forthcoming. Hughes got to the ball, referee saw it.
Well, I think he's played well tonight. Stephen Hughes has really impressed me in my first real look at this skid. I mean, this is an easy goal, but what you don't see is the run he made. He must have made about a 30-40 yard run into the box to put himself in a position to nod that in. This was the easy part. He didn't have to make a good run in there. The rest of his game's been good tonight as well.
It would have been very hard for David Kelly to have kept that out had he been leading that race. But Hughes, who's a tall lad, used the length in his frame to torpedo forward and get the final and decisive touch. Time to remind you of our man of the match telephone number, 0891 111101. Give us a call. Winterberg. David Seaman, of course, had the chance to say congratulations to the MBE that he got in the New Year's honours list. Keogh. Just a little bit of pushing by Merson. Well, we're coming into the last 15 minutes, and I would say the last 15 minutes with some confidence now. We felt that at half-time when extra time was a real possibility.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I'd be absolutely amazed if Arsenal were to allow Sunderland back into this game. They haven't looked at breaking through. That one chance when Melville just could have prodded at either side of Seaman, might have got them back into the game, but when that went a begging, you just felt that this was made for Arsenal now. Just did not take any chances, defend properly with a little bit of discipline, happy in the knowledge that up ahead we've got Bergkamp and Merson on such good form again tonight. I mentioned right at the top, I thought they were the best two players at the moment, and I think they've certainly showed that tonight.
Hall. Well, the three games looking as though it's going to be a draw and a win apiece. And how strange that Ian Wright should have served a suspension 3 games with Arsenal playing but one club. Sunderland will feel they were fortunate anyway. Melville. Gray trying to get their Keown should cut across, and well, even that went Arsenal's way. And you'll see more of Arsenal, and one would assume Ian Wright, and certainly I'm sure you want to keep tabs on Dennis Bergkamp. Arsenal against Everton, who were the last English club to beat Arsenal at Highbury around a year ago. A chance to do it again. And on Monday night, it's West Ham against Leeds United from Upton Park. Even so, we're rather writing off Sunderland here. They could get one goal, and we've mentioned before that Arsenal's confidence, which is brim full now, it certainly wasn't there in the first half. One win in the last 7. Maybe if Sunderland just got themselves within range with 1 goal back, some nerves might show, and we might be set up for a real finale. Gray. trying to put a hypothesis into fact, but Peter Reid not hiding his feelings. Either that, or he's still suffering from the celebrations on Sunday night, when he earned a hangover after the award. Well, it was Sky Sports and the League Managers Association that made Peter Reid #1 for Football League Managers for 1996. Bergkamp. Merson. He's didn't get quite such a pass of quality that time as he did when he scored.
I was just thinking the last time you and I were sitting in our gantry, Mr. Tyler, with about this time left, and the away team was winning 2-0 in a league match. I think it was Manchester United at West Ham, and I said then that I felt they were controlling the game. Not a problem, we'd just see this out. And would you believe it? 2 goals in what, a minute that day at West Ham level. And that's how quickly football can change. But it's going to take something like that.
And it needs a bit more of the old Roker roar than we're getting at the moment. I think the fans are rather giving up on it from Sunderland's point of view. The silent majority tonight at this stage. Merson. In truth, the way the second half's gone, 2-0 by no means flatters Arsenal. It could have been a couple more. Winterberg. Platt. Knocked back by Russell. Gray. He has looked the one. He's certainly refused to accept defeat here, and they've got the ball to him, Sunderland, which they'd like to do again and maybe have the chance here, but Ord spurns that chance. Just on occasion, he's looked as though he might undermine Arsenal's grip on the game. Kelly, offside. Flag was up, Smith shot, but hit the frame of the goal.
Yeah, I think that's an easier decision for the linesman. I don't think Kelly's looking for Smith at all here. He's looking to flick this through and go on his own. Whether he would have made it, I don't know. Just look to help it into the area and get through. Didn't expect Smith to be in there.
I don't think he would have made it, would he?
No, I don't.
Martin Keown was already ahead. Well, the last time Arsenal won at Roker Park was before Tony Adams was born, in the year of his birth, 1966. So it's been a long wait. There's Keown coping with Kubicki. Or has he? Sunderland's throw. Inside the last 10 minutes, they're 2 goals down. Vieira is one of those who's incurred the wrath of the English referees, the French under-21 international, having some difficulties in learning the way the game has been officiated in this country. Certainly not the way it's been played. He's very much caught the eye in his first season in this country. Williams. Melville. By Bold. just recognised that Williams was going to get there first. Russell, it's a good challenge, just at the right time by Keown on Smith. Well, not for the first time since Arsenal went 2 goals in front. It's Merson we're looking at, but Tony Adams wanted a slice of the glory then, maybe to make up for that own goal here on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd like to do that, Martin, but I just think it's part of the way that Arsene Wenger's got the back three playing. Not to discourage them to go forward. Even at 2-0 with the game won, I think the old Arsenal mentality would be sit in there, don't take any chances. Now, I'm quite happy to be as cavalier as they like, as long as they've got 2 of the centre-backs staying back.
Merson. Now Winterburn. Platt joining Bergkamp in the centre. Bergkamp gets a touch, trying to divert it on to Platt. Hughes takes it nicely. Parlour. Merson with another of those clever balls from right to left, the like of which that made the chance when Winterburn hit the post. Smith. Well, when Martin Smith first got into the side, he really caused a great stir here. Call up for the England under-21s, and they nicknamed him Son of Pele. And it needs something of Pele's stature to get Sunderland back into this game. Seaman has to reach for it and turn it away. Hughes confidently into Vieira. Bergkamp moving to the right, nothing much to the left for Arsenal. Parlour, Merson, Vieira.
Keep ball now.
I think even the rousing words of Peter Reid can't change the picture now.
I don't think there's anyone up here who's entirely confident with the outcome of this game. In Sunderland, I'm talking about the supporters. From the first minute, it was a pretty subdued crowd tonight. Almost as if, you know, well, we've got such a young side out against this really good-looking Arsenal side. It might just be too much for us.
Well, a good-looking Arsenal side that looked good after a great goal.
Yeah.
It was certainly a subdued Arsenal side in the first half. But we often stress the importance of the first goal. If someone had been able to get it, it would have really lifted the spirits of the younger players.
Yeah, I think it's important to have a look at sides. You know, they wouldn't have known a lot of the players that were on show, Arsene Wenger and his team, and I'm certain they wouldn't have sent them out just to go at it right from the first whistle. I think that would have been crazy. But have a look at them, see what they've got to offer, and then if they're confident, second half, up the tempo.
And it didn't take long to up the tempo, did it? Here's Mullin. It's been a non-stop try. Hall. Keown's got to scurry to get there. Parlour was trying to take it, such as Arsenal's confidence, in a way that he certainly wouldn't have done if there hadn't been a 2-goal cushion. Here's Merson making up some ground and hoping there was some confusion at the back, but it didn't happen. Gray. Now Melville. Well, we're really completing the formalities here. Merson looking to make it more than that. Paul Merson, and knowing that Perez isn't the tallest goalkeeper around, he tried the chip and couldn't quite get the lift. But he enjoyed the attempt.
I wonder if he'd have tried that in 0-0. I think the scoreline might have influenced this. It's never easy when you're running with the ball in front of you to suddenly get it up and over and get height on it. That's difficult. It's not easy. And I just wonder if at 0-0, you might just have put some power into that. But why not at 2-0 with only 2 minutes or so left, try something like that?
Well, Peter Reid is trying another substitution. Sam Aston, yet another fresh-faced young player, comes on for John Mullin. For the short time that remains, I think some of these Sunderland players will be saying, well, we were on the pitch when Dennis Bergkamp scored that wonderful goal. We had a great view of it. And Bergkamp must be very much in your thoughts. If you phone 0891 111101. Aston. And again. His presence encouraging a section of the crowd. On this near side, Gray. Well, it will certainly sharpen the appetite of all at Leeds United. That if they can get past Crystal Palace, George Graham will put his wits against Arsene Wenger. That league match at Highbury early in the season didn't come at the right time for the new Leeds manager. That Leeds side were beaten almost as soon as they crossed the white line. The goals went in so early. Bergkamp. Williams. Russell going through the centre. Ball goes to Aston. Smith in the middle as well. Aston can't get his cross in. Arsenal keeping up their concentration. It does come in from Hall. Parler was taking a chance there. Bold, though, a little bit further away. Suddenly they are getting a bit sloppy. Smith shot. And Bold apologising to all and sundry. Winterburn, Seaman. Anybody will listen.
Nah, you can do this at 2-0 up. Last minute. Pop it about. Overplay. They all feel now, and Arsenal shots that the game is certainly over and done with. Decent enough strike. Just leaning back slightly as he hits it.
Well, it's Arsenal's turn tonight. Dennis Bergkamp left the pitch in disgrace on Saturday. Stephen Hughes got the second one, but it was Bergkamp's first goal tonight that sees him departing as a hero from the last FA Cup tie to be played at Roker Park. But what a goal to have in a match with a historic overtone. That is absolutely fantastic. In the opening seconds of the second half, a very tight first half with very few chances. Arsenal on top from that point, and Merson carving out the first senior goal for Stephen Hughes to emphasise the superiority of Arsene Wenger's team. So a Highbury draw that brought about this replay, a league defeat here on Saturday, but now this unusual sequence of matches against Sunderland ends with Arsenal having a place in the fourth round of the FA Cup.
Not the cup tie we expected, but it was worth watching to see that wonderful goal from Dennis Bergkamp. 2-0 the Gunners, they're through to the fourth round. When we come back, we'll have updates from St James's Park, where Newcastle United and Charlton are replaying their third round tie. That's next with the thoughts of Barry Venison.